Friends, how are you doing? It's Monday. The market was closed. It was terrible. I know. We're all reeling from it here. But already it's 8 o'clock at night. Whenever you're listening to me yap here in this video, and the market is already showing signs of pre-market. My profile's already starting to move here late into the night, so that's a good sign. So let's talk about Nbis here, NBIS, and let's talk about Palantir, PLTR. Obviously, the first one, let's talk about Palantir real fast. Palantir, obviously I put on the thumbnail, should you buy Palantir at these prices? And that's, I see that comment all the time with people, and I think that's a very worthy comment to write because, Palantir since November, Palantir has been going crazy since the beginning of 2024, but, since November, Palantir has just been going gaga googa. It's just been going nuts here. And, you've got one company here, Nbis, who is making essentially more money quarterly wise than Palantir, and who's honestly doing a little better in different areas financially. But Palantir is worth more stock share price. You're having to pay more to play here. But Palantir has all this exposure right now. It has all this fame, this fortune, this moment of just like, it's the goo gaga, it's the new thing, everybody wants to be with it, the Alex Karp, all that kind of stuff. But when we really talk about the situation in Palantir, and I think I just talked about this a day or so ago, Palantir, everyone's saying Palantir is going to $500, people are saying $1,000, and there's very notable people saying that. You even have Dan Ives who's saying that Palantir is going into $1 trillion market cap here before we know it. And Dan Ives is a very well-known, respected trader, investor, who, firms look to for clues, actions, what's coming here. So, this isn't just something that, just Joe Smo, like, me yapping my mouth on YouTube are saying. We have a lot of evidence to support future earnings here, okay? But that's the key right now. So, for Palantir to remain in this position right now, let's just say above $100, okay? Above $100. Palantir at this point, with this next quarterly for Q1 of 2025, it's going to need to at least be at 30, 35, 40, would be nice to sustain these prices. Now, I have no doubt in mind that if Palantir were to continue in this growth pattern that it's in right now, to where, okay, let's just say the Q1 of 2025 here comes out and they do another 30, 35, 40, maybe 40, I don't know, something crazy here, in growth, quarterly, money, to where we're almost at $1 billion, earnings here per quarterly. That's really gonna, make the bears go, okay, well, they freaking did it again. Now they're almost at $1 billion. Now they're pretty much at $1 billion a quarterly here. Okay, now we've got something cooking here. Now we've got more support. But this is going to be the real challenging race here for Palantir this year, to where it's going to have to keep beating, keeping these high prices, because two things are happening. Palantir is doing very well right now in quarterlies. Palantir is already pricing in the next quarterly, and Palantir's been doing this since the summer. Essentially, it's been pricing in at the future quarterly of what's coming. It's doing it again right now. And what is happening is that Palantir is going to have to keep beating itself, record-wise. So, Q1 here, it's going to need to be a banger. And, Q2, we've got to get into a place, and I have no doubt that Palantir can't do this, is getting to this, it's going to have to execute 40, 45% more, in a growth pattern here. Now, too, there is a situation of where Palantir is just going to keep this zeitgeist. It's going to keep this pattern of people are just going crazy for it. It's chum in the water right now, and it's going to keep moving there. I have no doubt that will continue. But for, bigger investors to remain comfortable in Palantir, I do think they're going to need to see proof in the pudding here, because essentially that's what we're really doing here. We're wanting to make sure, us holding our positions in Palantir, that they keep producing, big earnings here. Now, Dan Ives also says that he believes Palantir is going to have somewhat of movement this year, like Oracle just had here the past, in 2024, where Oracle just had like this incredible move up, and Oracle did not execute every earning in 2024, but it still moved up very nicely, just out of expectation, just what was coming, just off of Oracle was getting a lot of attention. Okay, now Palantir is in that spotlight where, Palantir is very much, people are going, I think it might do it again. It might, just crush these next quarterlies again. And there's evidence to support that. I mean, there's evidence with these deals that they're getting. Alex Karp came out here in an interview about 2 weeks ago now, and he said, we haven't even really sought out customers. They've all come to us. We really don't have a sales force. We really haven't invested in that area yet, and that's very interesting that play is still there. That wild card is still sitting there. Palantir 22 months ago at this point pretty much, was at $7 a share, and really the main thing, I think if you were there and watching what was happening with Palantir at that moment, Palantir kept getting these government contracts. Okay, Palantir would get a government contract, then would get another one, and these government contracts would last for like 3, 4, 5 years minimum. But they started to compile on each other, where they were just like they were overlapping, and then they started to show up in the quarterlies. And this is what is happening right now, where Palantir has been getting these it already got these government contracts and still looking for more. But it's been getting, all this other random business with, companies here, there, $1 billion contract here, half a billion dollar contract here, there. They've been compiling on top of each other. And that's why you're seeing crazy quarterlies right now with Palantir. It's in such a growth pattern. So to put all of that in a blender, hit the grind button up, the main thing people want to know, should I buy Palantir at these prices? Friends, I'm sitting in so cheap in Palantir in positions right now. It's not fair for me to tell you to buy, to sell it. You have to do what you want to do. But I do think Palantir is in this, there's more than just attached, there's something attached to Palantir right now. There's this thing attached to Palantir that I think we all know what's there. It's hype. It's people not wanting to miss out, FOMO, 100%. But also, too, Palantir has a lot to back that up right now. It has a lot of attention right now in the AI field. I mean, I dare say Palantir is becoming one of the most talked about stocks / AI stocks out there. I mean, everyone's putting money in it. They're all buying it. It's just the God's honest truth. So, obviously, there's different ways to look at this. There's the investor side, just the straightforward, like, black and white, pen to paper investor that goes like, market cap is everything. And Palantir, yes, they need to keep getting this 35, 40, 30% minimum increasement on every quarterly. They do, compared to the last one, to keep up these prices, to keep up moving up in market cap in quarterlies. And that's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. But too, I think there is an argument to where Palantir is just becoming so famous, still bringing in really good money, but everyone's wanting to be a part of the Palantir train. And that's why we're seeing a lot of buy-in. Now, I do think there is a very real situation to where we've seen something happen in stocks like this in the past where they have huge run-up. But before they get to a new level of run up, like crazy run up, maybe before Palantir was to go to like, past where it's at right now, maybe like 140, 150, maybe it does have a ginormous drop. That's a very real possibility where Palantir sells off to 80, 90 bucks. I think that's possible. But obviously too, something's going to have to occur for that to happen. The market's going to have pushback somewhere. Palantir's going to have some kind of, bad article, bad news statement. And we're not seeing that at the moment. So if that's not coming anytime soon, what's happening? Well, the brick that is attached to the gas pedal of Palantir, it just keeps getting heavier. And Palantir keeps going up here. So, man, it's a wild situation to watch. It's, I remember when Palantir was at 70, $80, and I was like, it's going to 100. It's going to 100. And now that Palantir is at this 120, I'm looking for a 130 position. I listen, long term, I think Palantir is going to continue to do what it's doing now. It's going to continue to be in a growth pattern stage, achieve deals. It's in the White House, for God's sakes. Alex Carr, Trump, the administration, Elon Musk, they're all in cahoots together, and that's good for you as a Palantir investor. So with that, I don't think we're out of this season of growth with Palantir. I think 2025, 2026 are going to bring massive wealth. Into what you're seeing with Palantir now, there's literally articles like this right now where they're going, stock split watch, is Palantir Technologies next? Wow, yeah, that. Now that we've got articles saying something like that, that's something I've been yapping my mouth about here for a year now, where I've been like, Palantir in the near future here, let's just imagine Palantir does go to $500 a share. Palantir, $500 a share. That could call for a stock split. Palantir could go, you know what? We want to bring the stock share price down back to a little more reality. Obviously, we're gonna do a stock split. That's gonna cut it, but that's gonna be great. If you imagine if you're holding Palantir even at like, I don't know, 120 where it's at right now, later on in this year, maybe next year, Palantir is at some crazy price. Maybe it keeps achieving this 30-40% growth pattern on each earnings. And by the end of this year, we're in $1 billion quarterly range here. We're flushed over it. Okay, well, Palantir could really get to these high levels that everyone's saying, 400, 500. People are saying $1,000. It's fun to dream. Anything's possible in this market. The fact that Palantir's at $120 is like, people are going, this doesn't make any sense. Doesn't have to make sense. No one said it had to make sense. Yeah, there's a real possibility where Palantir could have a stock split here. I think it's coming regardless. There's going to be a stock split. But imagine if you bought Palantir at 120, 80, $70, $60, $50, $40. Maybe you were buying it when it was $7, $10. And then you have X amount of shares. Maybe they have just a little 3-for-1 stock split. You're tripling. And then Palantir keeps continuing this growth phase. Friends, this is how people become very rich in the market. This is life-changing money. At that point, you would probably have more money in retirement. You would have more money in your portfolio with Palantir than most people have in their retirement that they've been working on for 20, 30 years, depending on how many shares you had. Even if you had like 500 shares, 400. Think about that. That's a lot. That's a lot. And of course, I'm talking about, just an average, a person that makes $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a year, how much they're putting in the retirement fund, if they're even doing retirement fund. That's wow. That's a big wow. Okay. Listen, there's no one saying that Palantir is going to start doing bad here. There's no signs of that. There's none whatsoever. So just to talk about Nbis here, this is a stock that I've been talking about here and there, been watching like a hawk here. This is a stock this is a company, and it's, company with their share price, their stock here. It's been doing great without what just happened, okay? And what just happened was NVIDIA came in, they sold a bunch of companies, made out like a bandit, and then they invested in a lot of new companies, a handful. And Nbis here was one of them. And Nbis has already been doing amazing, okay? This is a company that has been making hellacious quarterlies. I mean, making a lot more money at the moment here than Palantir. And that calls for everyone to go like, okay, what did I miss over here? So, this company is projected to have a great year, okay? So the only thing that this stock does not have at the moment is notoriety. It's not a well-known stock, I would say, okay? It's just not. But that's okay. That's okay because, it's still going to do well here. This is a company that's making a ton of money right now. I mean, they are in such a beautiful growth stage right now. I mean, they're doing fantastic. I mean, even when they've had a few minor setbacks on their quarterlies compared to what they were doing. The new ones are they're busting out here, and they're going to be reporting the Q4 here in 11 days here to wrap up 2024. So obviously I know a lot of you invest in the stock because a lot of you comment about it, but I do think this is a golden egg opportunity moment here, and I think the stock is going to get very expensive here very soon, just because it was already doing well. It was starting to get noticed by a lot more people. I was seeing it come up on YouTube more, and and now that Nvidia's done this investment in it, this is going to shoot the stock up here more and more and more. Undoubtedly, that's probably what's about to happen here. So it's a solid play, man. It's a solid play for right now where it's at. It's bringing in crazy money, and it's another tech stock. And what does the market love? The market loves tech stocks. So friends, with that, the market opens back up tomorrow, and we'll see what happens here. I'm curious to see what Big Bear is able to do this week. I'm very curious to see how Big Bear is going to react this week. How is the market going to do this week? Palantir makes its own rules. We'll see what happens here. Long term, I think Palantir, yes. We're going to see these crazy numbers. If Palantir continues into this trajectory of where it's at, where it continues to do 30, 35, 40% earnings on top of what it's already done. What if Palantir what if these next earnings for Q5 come out, Q1 of 5 here, Q1 for 2025 here, and what if they're like 50% more? Oh my God. What if they come out here and they're like, they hit $1 billion? Oh my God. Palantir would go crazy more than it is. It can happen. It's already shocked everybody else. Why can't this happen now? Friends, listen, I wish all of you best of luck. I'm excited about this week. We'll see what happens here. And it's a fun time to be an investor. It's a real fun time to be an investor. Friends, take care of yourself. Bye, everyone.